I know you had some recruiting news that you wanted to get to with a few prospects because, believe it or not, the recruiting trail is heating up a bit.
No, man, it's really cool after a national championship. The first thing on these coaches' minds is to go out. Well, I mean, it is their job, but to go out there, do these at-home visits. And the cool thing about it, man, is that it's not the staffers, it's not the guys that we don't hear about in the background. These are the most prominent coaches on the staff. It's Ryan Day, it's Justin Fry, it's Coach Locke, it's Brian Hartline, making all the trips they need to make. And I mean, well, honestly, I mean, those guys are, I mean, outside of Fry, are our best recruiters. I guess I would say Ryan Day to an extent. Of course, I mean, we have OG Tony on the defensive side, who's honestly, in my opinion, rivaling Coach Hartline for the best position recruiter in college football.
Let's hold off. Let's hold off.
No, I mean currently. You got to produce them. But I mean, the DBs are coming. The DBs have played well the past few years. I said challenge. I didn't say he's taking it yet. But
Fair. Okay.
That was really cool. And I guess the first guy we can start with, man, is the we'll work our way there, but Kayden Gebhardt. So I have some notes here that I took on this kid. And I watched his highlight tape. I hate when guys say I watched their film. No, you watch their highlight tape. If you watch film, that means you're watching every play he's doing. Yeah, you're watching. Yeah. You're also watching his bad plays. There's a reason why it's called a highlight film.
Yeah.
But he is a safety of Olentangy High. Very good safety. Now he's not
just up the road here. Where my wife went, so very familiar with the high school in the area
really?
And everything he's doing up there. Oh yeah.
Oh, nice. Not well. You know what? Maybe talk to her. Let her know we gotta get things picked up, get things rolling. We gotta get this kid into Columbus.
Yeah,
but sure. It just came out that he listed his top four. Penn State, along with Ohio State, with Penn State, Clemson, and Wisconsin.
Yep.
Good size, 6'2", 200. Very athletic. If you watch his tape, the kid likes to hit. That's what he does.
Yeah.
He's also very athletic. Took a few kick returns back this past season. And I think he's one of those guys that I think needs to develop more so on the coverage end. You know, when you're going against some of these high school kids and you're probably not going against the best competition, you're not going to see you're not going to see the best competition. You're not going to see what you're going to see on a week-to-week basis or even a day-to-day basis at Ohio State or wherever you go, even Wisconsin.
Yeah, so he's playing some pretty decent competition up here in Central Ohio, but yeah.
Of course, in Central Ohio, you got all the talent. But I mean, just in terms of like when I was watching the tape, I'm looking at the players that he's on the other team. It's nowhere near what you're going to see, even if you face the wide receivers at Penn State in practice. But I think he's really good.
I agree with you. He's good. He's I've seen his film as well. I do like how quickly he's able to react in the run game because, like you mentioned, he is a thumper. But the only reason why you're able to be a thumper is because you've got good play recognition. Mm-hmm. And he was able to diagnose plays quickly, get in the hole, and stop the running back. So, I do like that. His cover skills, I mean, they're okay. I wouldn't say they're great right now, but he's still got a whole another year to develop. And there's a reason why he's, listed as a 3-star, borderline 4-star because of that. So he's got some time, and he's got some big time offers. So obviously those schools see something in him.
Yeah, most definitely. And I missed one of my points here. Man, his eyes are always on the ball.
Yeah.
And as a safety, that's most important. But especially in the run game, he's able to come down. Again, I think he would fit well in the Ohio State system. It looks like it's probably going to take a change here. We'll see, depending on who we hire. But I mean, if things stay the same, we usually run 2 to 3 safeties at a time, bring him close to the line of scrimmage, and he would fit very well there.
Yeah.
Was there anything else you had to say about him?
Not really. Just I know he's a pretty good player. Depending on what happens out in the fall, there's a decent game out here. If Ohio State's still in the mix, might go take a look at him in person, and we'll see. And, before you continue here, this is your guys' show as well. If you guys want to drop comments, please comment. I dropped the link in there in the chat as well if you'd like to join us. But I know we've got a few other guys you'd like to talk about here also. So go ahead.
Yeah, just a few more here. Now, the big guy, the number one recruit in the nation, Jackson Cantwell. Now, something I noticed, I'm sure you saw the photo of Justin Fry, him.
Yeah.
Ryan Day was there. And I'm happy he was there because, as we've continuously said, Fry isn't the best recruiter. Now, he's gotten some wins, but where we've kind of disagreed, where I agree with you now, he hasn't gotten a guy like this. And at Ohio State, it should be able to get a guy like this. Again, I saw it now. They have him at 6'8", 300. That's a massive.
He's a big boy. He's like DeJuan Jones. Not quite large weight wise, but height wise.
And I right here, I wrote down great reach. He has very long arms, and of course, as a tackle, you want to have that. You want to have a guy that can stretch out, lean on guys, but it's very good. Great size, of course. I would say perfect size, if anything. He's actually really athletic. On run plays, I was watching his feet. If he chops them, how much field he covers in his steps, and while he's driving guys back, he does that. And then while he's doing, he's also able to use something I call eyes to. He has accurate eyes. That's what I'm saying. Accurate eyes. Once he gets from one guy, his head's moving around, he can find the next one, and that's just really impressive for a kid at his age and where he is right now in his football development.
No, he's there's a reason he's rated as the number one overall recruit in the country. If he does it all, he'd be someone who would be able to start, quite frankly, in my opinion, day one.
Mm-hmm.
And he projects out to be, when you're that big, and you can move that well. I mean, you could be used at either tackle, depending on what Ohio State's left tackle situation is up to that point. They'll probably put him there. But definitely someone to keep an eye on. He's been someone I've been watching here over the last few weeks, months, just because, he's indicated more interest. And, if Justin Fry is able to land him, this would be a big one. I talked about before how he's yet to get a 5-star recruit into Columbus. And with what he was able to do with the Ohio State offensive line this year, there's no reason why he shouldn't be able to pull one here soon. I mean, he showed that he can coach, he can develop. So it's just about getting those recruits in.
Most definitely. And something that you said about starting early, and he is someone that can do that. He is someone, if you already have the size and you already have because the game of football is 50% mental. And he is very smart. He knows where to be. He doesn't waste movement, which is very important at that position. And honestly, Justin Fry should put, outside of maybe two other guys that are, I would say probably around 3 and a 4-star, unless you can go get another 5-star Justin Fry, this is a guy you put all your eggs in this basket. You put all your eggs in there. We do have a lot of young guys in the offensive line room, and you can still go to the portal if you need to fill some needs or for depth. So most definitely, this is the type of kid you have to get into Columbus.
Yeah, Cantwell's really good. I know there have been some other projections here, along the offensive line, and there were some other guys that you wanted to talk to specific to the recruiting trail. But as far as the offensive line goes, they have 3 guys who picked up predictions today, who are all Ohio kids on the offensive line who are predicted to go to Ohio State. There's a couple, and they're all 4-star guys. So, if he's able to get some of the best guys in the state of Ohio on the offensive line and to land a big fish like that, then that's one way to get start a recruiting class for Justin Fry. So hopefully those all come together.
And you know what? Now that you bring that up, let me ask you a question, or not so much a question. I'll make a statement and get your opinion on it. There's some positions where I believe in the state of Ohio, or just in the state of Ohio, that you should be able to lock it down. In my eyes, if you have a quarterback in the state of Ohio, now depending if there's multiple ones, but you should get at least one of them, right? running back, offensive line. I want specific on offense. I think those positions where at Ohio State you have the luxury of being in Ohio, which is in my opinion, one of the top 10 recruiting states in the nation in terms of talent. I think Ohio
easily.
It's just it's wild how much talent that school has compared to the rest of the teams here in the Midwest or in the Big Ten. Even the state of Michigan, where I reside, they don't have half the talent that the state of Ohio has.
Yeah.
I also think part of that has to do with a lot of the schools in the state not being good at getting the kids out there. But if there are offensive linemen in the state of Ohio, like he did here in the last class, but they're twin brothers, you have to get them here.
Yeah, no, my thought as far as recruiting in the state of Ohio, there's enough good kids here to really replenish a lot of the roster year in and year out. Now, there's going to be top, receivers. A lot of top receivers are in Texas, Florida, California. Every now and then you'll get one here. Hell, they got a 5-star recruit last year who's from the state of Indiana, Mylon Graham, who you're probably going to see a little bit more of this year now that, some of the top guys are gone. Mm-hmm. So you're going to get a lot of good offensive linemen. You're going to get, running backs, a lot of good running backs in the state of Ohio. And if you can get a lot of the offensive linemen, running backs, and there's some good defensive linemen here too. Zach Harrison was a 5-star recruit out of Olentangy Liberty, a few years back. Jack Sawyer, obviously, 5-star recruit from Pickerington. If you can lock down those positions and use the rest of the country to fill out the rest of your roster, you're doing pretty well. Obviously, quarterbacks, it's really hit or miss. Obviously, it was a big hit here in 2025 with Tavian St. Clair, being a 5-star kid. But you're not going to have that every year. And that's okay. With your national brand, your Ryan Day, you've developed quarterbacks, you can go out wherever you want to get a quarterback. But it's still important to make sure that the best kids in the state of Ohio stay in the state of Ohio. So you've got to be able to, for years they talked about building that recruiting fence, around the state. So you got to keep that intact with the best kids.
I mean, hell, Ryan, well, there's about just over around 100 players on a team. You can fill out 10 of that just like Cleveland.
Yeah. Just get all the Glenville kids in,
Let's go one more here. This is someone who I'm very, very interested in, and I want to get your thoughts on Kayden Dixon Wyatt. Now, Brian Hartline was visiting him. And Chris Jr. It was actually his first stop. A little shorter, a little smaller than him, but he's a big receiver. 6'3", 185 pounds. In the red zone, he's a huge weapon. I wouldn't want to be the guy playing modern day with those two guys on the outside in high school with grown bodies. And if you look, his sophomore year, he ran a 4.76 40 at Spark or the Nike Combine. But then I saw something else. He ran a 4.07 shuttle. Now, for anyone that wants to know what the difference about that is, and if you see a 4.76 out of a wide receiver, you're going to think to yourself, well, damn, he's slow. Maybe, but football speed's a little different than just running 40 yards. But when you see a 4.07, what that means is that he's not just quick; he's elite.
The boy's got some burst.
Yes, and that 39-inch vert with that he has burst, 39-inch vert, and he has suitors. He's one of the top wide receivers in the nation. I don't understand how I usually like to go by the composite, but to have a composite,
I typically do too.
But have a composite at 34, then you look at like 247. They have a number 5 receiver, top 60 recruit. It's kind of
well, some of the rankings have done some weird stuff lately.
On 3.
ESPN ratings are usually complete garbage, so I typically throw those out. On 3s aren't terrible. I typically, 247. I'd use the composite mostly, but to your point, part of the reason why those rankings are so widely varied on Dixon Wyatt is because of that 40 speed, because he doesn't have that elite speed that you look for in a wide receiver, and he when you say 4.7, that's not an average speed. That's slow by receiver standards.
Yeah.
Now, the difference is, like you mentioned, he's got very good burst, so he can get open quickly. He's got the acceleration where he can get some separation, and that's how he's able to catch as many balls as he does. Now, if Ohio State gets him, he's going to be somebody who they can use a lot in the red zone because of his frame. Now, he's not massive. He's not like, Megatron size where he's, 6'4", 6'5", something like that. But he's still a big dude, and he's got a decent vertical. So he can be a weapon in the red zone. Do I see him being as good as players like Brandon Inniss or Carnell Tate? Certainly not Jeremiah Smith. But, I could see him being someone on par with like a Benjamin Victor, something like that, where maybe even a little better, where he can be used as one of those bigger guys to throw the ball to, those situations. So, yeah, he's a solid guy, and he's still got a whole year to work on speed training as well to get a little bit faster. His hands are money. He doesn't drop many passes. So when you've got sure hands, that's what Brian Hartline looks for.
Yeah, I'll give some insight here. So one of my best friends, he played college receiver at D3 school, but he's someone who I honestly trust when it comes to wide receiver evaluations. Way back when I wasn't the biggest fan of I think it was Chris Olave when he came out of high school. And back then he said, man, look at his routes, look at his feet, that's all you got to watch. Then he came to JSN. He said the same thing, but he called it early. He said JSN is going to be way better than Julian Fleming. He called it from the get-go. And then right now, the guy, he's a Michigan fan. He loves Mylan Graham.
I love me some Mylan Graham too.
He might be wrong in this. He said he could be as good as Jeremiah. I think that's not the question.
Let's calm down. Let's calm down on that.
No, but we talked. We were having a conversation a while ago. He always said you don't need to be fast to be a receiver. When I was in high school, I played a guy named Willie Snead Jr. Played wide receiver for Muskegon Heights in his last 2 years. He was a quarterback at Holland Christian, then quarterback at Muskegon Heights. And then he ended up going to Ball State in Indiana while I was actually at St. Francis in Fort Wayne. And he was a big star there. I think they had his picture all over the campus. Goes to the NFL, has some success. Willie Snead ran a 4.8, everybody. But for some odd reason, he's always open.
Yeah.
And I think he can be really good, and we'll see what happens if we get him. It's a long process. So far away, but he's someone I definitely would keep on my radar.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's, like you said, long process. Any of these 2026 guys, you don't really know until December once they sign that letter of intent. Or I guess not letter of intent anymore until they sign. Let's just say that.